14, 15, 16 hours non-stop a day. So I'm the only one who said to myself, no, I'm not going back to the village, and I'm not going back to my to be a mechanic or a bricklayer. Chef, I describe myself as a conductor of an orchestra. If you don't want to do this business, if you don't want to be perfect, change job.
Change job.
Because this is one of the toughest jobs in the world. There is 2 tennis stars who wants you to go and cook for them. And then I say, one is Roger Federer, and the other one is Djokovic.
Wow.
My food is not a typical burrata or spaghetti, meat sauce or stuff like that.
This is not an Italian restaurant at all.
It's 50 years of culinary experience.
So welcome everybody. Welcome everybody that's tuning in. This is the Geonet podcast, the Geonet Properties podcast. But today we're going to expand on properties and expand on the areas around our properties and who are the people, the movers and the shakers that actually make up the consistency of a very, very good investment location. And we've got an incredible guest with you. It's been our pleasure, obviously, to know Mr. Gabriel Fratini here, our guest today, for quite some time now. In the lead up of the opening of the Luc, he has opened Gabriels Restaurant. It's a pleasure to bring you on this podcast and obviously to bring you to more and more of the people that we actually speak to all the time. We bring our clients here, but we will also bring our hotel guests here. We have many corporate functions that we want to bring here. But to get to know you is a treat. You somehow feel like home for me. You actually do.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here anyway. Thank you.
Brother. So I want to just maybe bring out some points of who we've got in front of us. So Gabriel Fratini has been in the culinary business for 51 years and counting, right? He doesn't look like he's that old, but I assure you the experience and the wealth of knowledge that he has in his field is outstanding, overwhelming. You're going to hear names like Sinatra, you're going to hear names like Jackson, Federer, but you're also going to hear about what really goes on in the background of a culinary career spanning 51 years of being a celebrity chef, being a chef to celebrities, billionaires, and also a serial goldfinger when it comes to restaurants. And how has he actually survived this long? Because as you'll find out in this podcast, the art of being a culinary survivor, let alone somebody who thrives, is a very, very, very tough act. So, Mr. Gabriel Fratini, again,
nice.
My honor.
Thank you very much.
Really, my honor. I've got a round of questions for you. I just want to sort of delve into things that I still haven't heard from you, even though we know each other and I come here as often as I possibly can, and I'm now a neighbor in this area. We love Berawa. You obviously love Berawa.
Yeah. I love Berawa because it's compared to Sevignac or all the other places, it's quiet, and I believe in the next few years will come up more and more and more.
And it's bringing a very, very different crowd here, right?
Different crowd, exactly. We don't have the crowd of, slow people. Here we have a little bit more quality people.
More money as well.
Exactly.
Lots more money.
And I know quite few foreigners who are building and buying property in Berawa.
Yes. And they're not only doing that just to live in, but they're doing that to invest in as well.
Exactly, right? Investing, and some of them they use it as a second home to come, whenever they can.
And with that disposable income comes a quality of lifestyle that they become very much accustomed to.
Exactly.
And that's, I guess, where you're coming into. This is your frame of the market. But I want to go back.
Yes.
I want to go back. I want people to know who the real Gabriel Fratini is. If you're a foodie like myself, Knowing the chef is a real honor, especially at an establishment that inspires you, that you want to bring friends to, and the hospitality comes into play, the mix of the menu or the concept, the place, the bar, the staff, and everything that you bring. But if you're a foodie and you are able to experience hospitality directly from the chef, even though the kitchen is bustling, the people are all here. I've seen him work his magic. I've seen you work your magic on over 75 people in one room, and everybody felt like they had an experience with Gabriel Fratini. So I want to get past that. It's my privilege now to have a little bit more of your time. Here's a question I'd love to open with.
Yes.
Who is Gabriel Fratini at the age of 15?
That's a good question. I have to remember because I'm getting older, you know. Now, okay. Why did I start this business?
No.
At the age of 15.
Who are you?
Yeah, okay.
What have you done? Where are you?
Well,
what's family life like?
Well, we were 6 in my family, 6 siblings.
Wow.
I had 4 sisters in front of me, then a younger brother, which my brother is 7 years younger than me.
Wow.
So at the age of 15, my sisters, they were all married and already left the house.
Wow.
So me, I was in a stage of deciding what I'm going to do with my life, okay, at that time. And of course, coming from a humble, poor family, my father was a bricklayer, my sister's husband all about same job, mechanic and whatever.
Okay.
My father said to me, why don't you go and be a mechanic, you know. I said to them, nah, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was helping my mother to shop for food for home, basically. She used to send me to the butcher, go and get a half kilo of meat, go to the, get some pasta. So I started knowing a little bit of this. And then a friend of mine, he was a couple of years older than me, and he was working already as a cook. And then I give him a call. I say, hey, how are you? He said, hey, why don't you come and do the culinary school as well? And then I said, that's a very good idea. That's what I want to do. Immediately. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And that's how I started at the age of 15.
But that was brought to you by going out and seeing how the passion, because you're from Italy, let's establish that. The obvious thing is Gabriel Fratini is from Italy. What part of Italy?
You know my accent.
What part of Italy?
I'm middle part of Italy, opposite Rome on the Adriatic coast.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful city called Pescara.
Yeah. And we all know, the world knows Italy as passionate.
Yes.
Passionate foodies, passionate. It's generational. It's generational.
Yeah.
And you were the only one in the family that said, "I feel it."
My mother at that time, she was cooking. Every little town in Italy. We talk about going back in time. They used to have a marquise or a count or somebody, or a duke. And my mother used to cook for the marquise. In their palace.
The high society.
High society. But of course, if we talk about 50 years ago, food was completely different of today's food.
Like how?
Oh, like my mother used to cook tomato sauce for 4 or 5 hours. Wow. Today we cook tomato sauce within minutes with fresh tomato. You know what I'm saying? So completely different style. So because she was cooking most of the time for the marquise, I used to go to my grandmother's house for lunch after school. And my grandmother used to cook as well, So basically I got inspiration from them towards my culinary experience.
Yeah. So I grew up in Perth. Now Perth is a long way away from Italy, but in Perth there is a very, very, very big population of Italians that came out and settled in Australia, made home, but also generationally really were responsible for building a lot of Australia. They brought their expertise, but what they also brought was that beautiful culture.
Yes, exactly.
And their incredible family values around the eating process and hospitality. You didn't go there just to nibble.
No.
And if you did nibble, you would end up getting full. But that's when it started again. The next plate, the next plate, the next plate, the next plate.
You see, first of all, I have a cousin who migrated to Perth about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of cousins who are in Perth. Okay, of course now they are older than me, but you know. Anyway, Italian people, they always been friendly wherever they go.
Yeah.
And they earn their friendship with food.
That's true.
You know, so they invite people home. If you come to Italy to my house and we go to my sister's, the first thing they do, come on, sit down and eat.
Yeah.
Sit down, eat,
It's amazing.
You must eat, you must eat.
Amazing.
You know? So that's how the Italian people are.
Yeah.
And when I go back to Italy, I get with my sisters and brother. We all go to one of my sisters. She lives in a little bit of countryside. So we go to her place, and she put a feast like there is no tomorrow.
That's amazing.
And you have to eat, basically.
Yeah.
And with it, there's things that in Italian what we do. We eat first, we talk later.
Right.
So because we say the food must be taken hot.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you. I believe in that as well.
Unfortunately, I've been in Asia 45 years, and people, they talk, and then when they, sorry, I need to go to the loo. Oh, sorry, I finished. Oh, I need to make a phone call. In Italy, we don't do that. We eat, then we go to the loo, or we go smoke a cigarette, or we talk later.
Yeah.
So the food,
to respect the food and the effort that's gone into it.
Food is part of our Italian culture, heritage.
It's your love language.
Everybody, let's put it this way, everybody in Italy knows how to eat well.
Yeah.
And they know that the food is good. If you go to a restaurant and the food is not good, you know.
My mother can do better.
Well, I give you an example. I had two children. We were in Brisbane,
right,
for dinner in an Italian restaurant, and you know, I knew the owner, Italian restaurant. I know the chef, the owner, Italian. So the guy came over after the dinner and asked me, "So, Gabriel, how's the food?" Without me saying anything, my answer at that time, my son at that time was 7 or 8 years old. Straight away say, "Papa cooks better." I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But this shows that we transmit the food and the passion to our children from a very young age.
Yeah.
So from a very young age. I used to teach my children to eat tartare at the age of 5.
Wow.
You know. And
their palate already grows appreciative.
Exactly. So the children in Italy grow up with the taste of food in their
fresh
mouth
food,
and culture.
beautiful food.
Yeah, exactly.
The traditions are handed down. The life stories are shared.
Exactly. So they know the tomato sauce should be like this and not like that.
Yeah.
You know, it should be a little bit more cooked, less cooked, because they grow up with the palate.
They grow up with a palate, and that's very different to a lot of other countries.
You see, also in Europe is different from Asia. In Europe, we eat 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
Lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
You know, when we go for lunch, we have a nice lunch, then we don't eat anything until the evening, and we have a nice dinner.
And the evening's not necessarily 6 o'clock; it could be quite late.
8 o'clock depends. In the summer, can be 10 o'clock as well.
Yes, that's right.
You know, so it depends on the season. But what I'm trying to say is that in Asia, people eating anytime.
Yeah.
8 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So it means there is no that culture of appreciation. You eat because you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different culture. Europe is Italy, France, you know, Spain,
Germany, Spain,
all the Latin country. We more concentrate on appreciation and eat good meals when it's time to eat.
Yes, in a social way.
In a social way.
Yeah,
exactly.
With real appreciation for every nuance of it. Even if it's a simple dish, there is a tradition to it, and there is memories, and there's actually genetic DNA shared through it, basically, because it's generational.
Exactly. In Italy, we go for lunch, or you're home for lunch, and then you ask your mother, what's for dinner?
Wow.
You see?
Because it's already it's already been cooked.
Because the mind is, oh, I want to eat something nicer tonight, you know. It's always in food.
Yeah.
And when you go with friends, you talk about, let's meet, we're going to eat lamb today. Let's go and eat fish. Let's go and eat. So, and in Italy, we don't have a restaurant which cooks everything. We have specialized restaurant.
Wow.
Where you go and eat only lamb. You go to a restaurant, you eat only lamb.
We've got to eat at Luigi's lamb.
Yeah,
the lamb at Luigi's, that's
exactly.
it.
Or we go only seafood. Yeah. So you don't go there and say, but I want the spaghetti meat sauce.
Yeah.
The guy will kick you out.
Yeah.
You know, and you go and eat pizza, only pizza.
At the pizzeria.
At the pizzeria.
Yeah.
So it's a so we grew up with the culture of recognize individually food and appreciate for what they are. Yeah. So we don't have a restaurant where it cooks everything.
Right.
You know.
Right. Okay, so that moves you. My next question was about mentors, but we kind of touched on the mentors.
Yeah.
When we had a little discussion beforehand, you were thinking, I don't think I had any mentors, but you really did. You had generations of mentors.
My mother and my grandmother, let's put it this way.
I mean, that's the most beautiful.
But after that, as I grew up, I basically, I didn't want to go back to my life as a boy.
Right.
You see,
after culinary school.
After culinary, we embarked in this journey with 5 of my friends. We were 6 of us.
Oh.
All
friends from a young age.
From young age, which they're still friends with me today. But that's the trick. That once we embark in this at the age of 15, 14, 15, within the longest who survived was 6 months. I'm the only one who survived.
Oh, really?
Because this is a very tough business. So basically, we had to work on our birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, every evening until late. I used to work 14, 15, 16 hours non-stop a day. So I'm the only one who said to myself, no, I'm not going back to the village, and I'm not going back to my to be a mechanic or a bricklayer. So all my friends, they all quit because it was too tough for them. The kitchen is very hot. And then they all went back to the village. And all of them, which are still friends today, but they changed about 20 jobs since then. One became a bricklayer, another one became a mechanic, and then after a while it became a salesman, and then after a while, I'm the only one who stayed true to my job, and I've been doing this for 51 years.
Unbelievable. Well, it's very believable given the fact that you were driven. But it couldn't necessarily be I don't want to go back to the village inspiration. I can imagine that if you are giving yourself to something, you're finding fascination. I know you to be a creative person.
Yes.
But I also know you to be, obviously, given that I know the highlights of your career, that it has taken you in so many different paths. And I can imagine that the hot kitchens, 12, 15 hours a day, no birthdays, no Christmas. In fact, those are the days, generally the public holidays that are your busiest. You don't get to go home to enjoy them. But there is a fundamental calling and a creativity, and obviously the sense of wanting to adventure into this universe now that is culinary and your career. Give me some of the points that went from culinary school to broadening your mind in, I don't care about the hours, I'm still passionate about. What were those elements?
For me, the determination was that I'm embarked myself in a very tough job, okay? And it's going to be tough. And I don't want to be another cook on the block. I want to become somebody. And my determination was to become somebody. And at the age of 21, I was already a chef. And I had
Explain to me first what the difference is between a cook and a chef, because some people aren't foodies out there, and some people go, oh, you make the food. There's differences, there's levels to this.
Well, we started in the kitchen as an apprentice. Okay, we started learning basically at school how
peel
to make
the vegetables.
Before that, we study how to make the sauces, bechamel, tomato sauce, basic ingredients, how to cut a fish, how to debone chicken, whatever, everything else. Then you start an apprentice. Apprentice means you are under somebody.
Under a master.
You have a chef de partie, sous chef, so there are many ranks in the kitchen. Right. But your apprentice means you are under chef de partie. Right. Then you become a chef de partie, which is you got your own rank. Okay, let's say you're in charge of fryer, or you're in charge of the grill, or you're in charge of cold dishes.
Okay.
Okay. Then after that you move on, and then you become a sous chef. Sous chef means you are in charge of. There's a chef, sous chef, and then you are in charge of commanding. Make sure that all the cooks are doing a good job.
Okay.
Okay.
So and the different divisions, the different parts
division,
of
different class, different titles, and then once you reach the chef position, means you are now the one who decide menus.
It's your show.
It's your show. You decide the menu. You decide what you're going to cook, and then you have to teach your brigade.
Yeah.
Everything that
your
you
lieutenants.
learned. Exactly. Basically, chef, I describe myself as a conductor of an orchestra.
Yeah.
You see, so take it the same way. You start playing.
Keeping the beats.
You start playing the violin or whatever you're playing, and then once your ears became so sophisticated that you recognize that the clarinet miss a note, then you are a conductor of an orchestra. Right. So for me, it's I can see when the water boils to cook the pasta, I can see if there is salt or without salt. Whoa. By looking only at it.
Whoa!
So this becomes experience, and I'm trying to pass this to my cooks everywhere. I've been working different countries. I've been in Asia for 45 years, and I've been cooking around the world, from Australia to China to America to Europe, and I'm trying to teach this because I still have passion on me. I still believe in teaching and still believe in people. Food is very important. Food goes inside you, and you are what you eat.
Yeah.
So I always tell the people, would you eat this?
Yeah.
If it's not good? No. Then why you want to give to the guest?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you give to the guest what is good for you and what is good for the guest.
Yeah.
But don't cook just for the sake of cooking, because cook is one of the most difficult jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of people who in the show business, I won't mention any names, but we know a lot of these called VIP chefs in the show business that are very, very, very stressful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They shout, they scream, they throw knives, they throw plates on the floor. They're really, really stressful.
Well, when you bring it back to the conductor level, there's a symphony that you're trying to entertain with, and you're trying to give it the artistry's respect.
Yes.
And every element, all your string section, your brass section, your rhythm section, all of these things have to be
in harmony together.
In harmony.
So that's why, if you look at a Michelin star restaurant, Michelin star restaurant, sometimes, let's put, now it's shut down, but few years ago was El Bulli. El Bulli was the #1 restaurant in the world.
For
many years. But they were closed for 6 months and open for 6 months. On those 6 months they were closed,
they were still working.
They were still working, creating dishes. And they had 30 cooks in the kitchen. Wow. You see, creating. So one puts the soup, another one put the prawns, another one put the decoration, another one put the last signature. You see, so, and
it really is an orchestra.
It's an orchestra, and everything has to go the flow together. And then the chef job is to be at the pass, and when the food arrives, the dish arrives, you look at it.
There's a checklist.
Exactly. Boom. Done.
Done.
Okay, can go.
Wow.
So this we are talking very high level, very you know, stressful, very stressful.
Totally.
So-
And that comes now to another question I really wanted to dive into. We mentioned Conductor, we mentioned the symphony, we mentioned the people that you're trying to pass this passion on to, so that they deliver it in that passionate way, and they own their own product enough to want to provide it as an offering, because it's a labor of love in with the way that you approach everything, and you want that labor of love. You don't want process takers.
No.
They've got to feel the entire symphony themselves to understand what they're trying to. But my question goes back now to leadership in the kitchen. You've worked all over the world, and obviously you've had Balinese, you've had Javanese, you've had Singaporean, you've had Australian,
All
you've
kind
had,
of nationality.
and you've also got a mission. You have a symphony to deliver in your own restaurants. Let's talk about that. The leadership is it's a balance of fury and discipline.
Sometimes you have to see. I'm a very demanding person.
Good.
Okay. It means if I show you a dish one time, 2 times, 3 times, the 4th time I will get upset because I always tell my staff, if you don't want to do this business, if you don't want to be perfect, change job.
Change job.
Because this is one of the toughest jobs in the world. So you want to learn, you want to become somebody, you have to do the best. I always recommend the young cooks or the young people who want to adventure in this business. I always tell them, you want to do it, you have to become somebody. Otherwise, don't do it.
Wow.
Because I don't want you to become another cook and then just cook and go home, cook and go home.
Yeah.
I started because I want to become somebody, and I did. That's why if I was another cook today, I would have changed my job 100 times already.
Yeah.
You know? So
But in that comes the satisfaction.
the satisfaction is cooking for personality, cooking for VIP people, cooking for kings, billionaires, and but those people are famous. But for me, I prefer to cook for down the ground people. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Okay, I had just to give you a sample. A few days ago, I had this couple from Hong Kong, and they came the first day. The meal was good. I don't want to say fantastic. It was good. Then say, can we give you a challenge? Can we come back tomorrow night and eat something different?
Oh.
Of course.
Oh.
So they came the next day. Say, okay, you know,
Surprised.
we'll come back again tomorrow night.
I love
so they came 3 days in a row. Then after we sit down, you know, we have the chat, we have a drink together, and say, you know, we are a retired couple. We travel the world. We never had a chef who can do 3 nights in a row, so many different dishes, and that's
not
why we
just
keep coming back. You know.
But let's break that down, because we'll get down to the actual concept of Gabs first. A little bit later.
Yeah.
It's not just that you were bringing out a different main course.
It's an experience.
Your methodology and your experience here.
For me, my idea of a restaurant is not a place to go only and eat. For me, idea of a restaurant to go, first of all, you want to eat, go to McDonald's.
Correct.
You fill up your stomach and
Correct.
that's it. You want to go to a restaurant to eat and good food and enjoy evening with your girlfriend, wife, your friends, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy a nice evening. Then you have to have an experience in the restaurant. It's not the waiter comes here, what's good? Oh, everything is good in the menu. Doesn't work like that.
Right.
You know, when my guest comes, I'll talk to them and find out what they eat, what they don't eat, and I'll take care. I'm a tailor in the kitchen. I make a menu according to...
You're a tailor with a lot of creative license.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an artist, so
yes, exactly.
I create whatever dish comes. You give me a piece of meat, I'll see 50 ways of do it.
Yeah.
Different way
it's a
of
blank
doing it.
canvas.
Blank canvas.
It's 50 different blank canvases.
Exactly.
That's my experience here, which I love.
Exactly.
But going back to this this couple that came 3 nights in a row, I mean, that's an accolade that can only be done with artistic license. You can't necessarily go back to a restaurant and go, send me the chef and surprise me the next night.
No, you can't.
That's what an experience.
That's why I love this job.
Yeah.
After so many years, because I'm down to earth with people who loves food, and I want to give them an experience of a lifetime to enjoy. To say, I've been to Gabriel made for me fantastic meal, and I will remember. And that's what I want. So, personality, VIP people, kings, singers, football player, whatever.
You just want humans.
You know, they are humans at the end. You know, I never really took a photo with them, or because at the end of the day, they are customers. They are still human. And down to earth. Frank Sinatra, oh, I just want spaghetti meatballs, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get into that. Let's get into that. There's been a 51-year span of your career, and it's come from many different kitchens and many different restaurants of your own. But there were periods of your life, I now know, where there wasn't a restaurant that you were directly dedicated to. You were consulting, etc., for many hotel chains throughout the world. But there was also some golden phone calls. Now, in the business of being a celebrity chef, or in the business of being a well-known chef, there is also what's known as an agent.
Exactly.
And that agent is the star agent that VVIPs, or very expensive taste people that have a very, very, very high taste and expectation of their food, and they will call that agent and say, I have a project, I have a period of time that I am looking for the best of the best. In the 80s, you get a call and the client's name is Frank Sinatra.
Well, for him it was different, okay? For him I was working in the hotel at that time, okay? And Frank Sinatra came to Hong Kong for a show. I was in Hong Kong. Came in Hong Kong to a show. And then he wanted to eat Italian food, but he wanted to eat in private. Not going to a restaurant, because otherwise I attract too many people. So a lot of time I do private cooking, not you know. And so one of the agents said, well, the only Italian chef in Singapore worth to call was me.
Wow.
You know, in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong was called Gabriel Fratini. So they give me a call, says Frank Sinatra wants to eat in his. He was staying, if I don't make a mistake, he was staying in somebody's villa, you know, in private, or I can't remember now. Anyway, they said, oh, but he wants to eat typical American Italian style food, whatever, you know. I say no problem, you know. So I mean, then Michael Jackson came to the hotel where I was staying.
Oh, again, you're killing me here. Two of my absolute favorite entertainers. The world has been changed by their involvement in entertainment, and they want to eat with Gabriel Fratini.
Yeah, well, Michael Jackson, when they came to the restaurant, he wants something simple, something light.
He's a vegetarian as well, right?
No, at that time,
or
no.
Vegan? No.
At that time, no.
Right.
At that time, no. We talk about the 80s as well.
Right.
You know, and then, so basically, actually, we made some, can't remember exactly, some salad and some protein, but can't remember. It's a long time ago. As I say, I don't keep a track with. I will remember more when you come. Tell what you eat last week, then I will remember. You know. Then, of course, I just give you a little bit of a funny story. You know, a few years ago, my agent called me and said, "Oh, there is 2 tennis stars who wants you to go and cook for them." And then I say, "Who?" One is Roger Federer, and the other one is Djokovic. Wow. And then say, who would you like to go for? I say, I want to go for Roger Federer.
Right.
So I had a choice. So I choose to go and cook.
You have the choice of the best 2 tennis players in the world to work for.
At that time, yes. So, and I say, I'm going to go for Federer.
Wow.
So basically, I do have choices sometimes, but sometimes it's like you say, the agent calls, and then they give you options. They are this job here, this job here, this job here. Then, of course, they will send the resume to the owners. The owners look at my resume, and then maybe there is more than one who says, oh, I want him.
Right.
And then it's up to me to choose.
Yeah.
You know,
where you want to be.
So it's like being a movie star. Al Pacino doesn't choose to go and play in The Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's an agent that
his agent puts him forth for it.
Exactly, for the script.
Everybody's throwing screens. Everybody's throwing scripts at him.
Exactly, and
the
then
agent makes the
mitigation. After the director chooses, okay, this is going to be a good part. Basically.
Yeah. Wow.
You know? So we are more, but that was a few years ago. Now I'm out, okay, of this business. Actually, I'm still receiving almost every day, because I'm still in the circle. I'm still receiving almost every day information about, you know, are you interested to do this and that. But you know, now for me it's more doing promotions, like going to hotel as a chef guest, which I'm going to do in the next few months also. Wow. I'm going to go to a few places and become a chef guest.
Here in Bali?
I'm going to do it actually I'm going to Gili.
Gili? Really?
Yeah. Gili, which one is he? One of them, the smallest one.
Wow. Gili Air or something?
Yes, Gili Air.
Wow.
I'm going there as a guest chef. And then I'm going to Jakarta also, and somewhere else. You know, as a guest chef.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're now in Berawa. We're now at Gab's Restaurant, Gab's GastroBar. Yeah. This has been when the developer actually contacted me about what's going on in this project, and his face lit up when he knew that you were coming on board. You were the original consultant for the food and beverage kitchens and stuff for this hotel, the Luc Hotel here in Berawa. But his face lit up when he was able to tell me, well, you won't believe who's now involved here as a restaurant owner and the head chef, and his creation's going to be, oh, Mark, you won't believe. And then it opened, right? I'd met you a couple of times in the process of while you were planning this out, which is also a very, very intricate part of preparation. You don't just install.
Nah.
You have to plan.
Oh, you have to plan in advance. We have to, as I don't know if I mentioned it before, through my career, I became also a chef consultant, and I design. I had my consultancy company as well to design kitchens and restaurants for other people. And I did open all over the world with my own design. So basically, as a chef, I have a better vision on how to operate a kitchen or how to operate a restaurant, where to put the service station, or where to put the bar, or where to put the stove in the kitchen or the fridge, because I put myself into the kitchen design, and with 360 degree, I have to have everything around me. So the staff has to have everything there.
Has to be operating like a Swiss watch.
Exactly. That's what I am. So when I came here and the hotel showed me the kitchen plan, I said to them, do you mind if I redesign for you a little bit? Because it's not really practical for the cooks to work on it, you know. So, and I did, and they followed my advice, and
here we are.
Here we are.
So the Gab's concept here. I've had many experiences here. I plan on having many more. But sit down, shut up, and eat.
Something like that.
You don't get a menu in this place.
Something like that.
There's no menus.
Like I said, you know, I've been cooking for 50 years, and I got so much in my head. And I have so much creativity, which honestly, I don't like to use that word, but I hate fixed menu.
Right.
Because
you get complacent.
Steak, mushroom sauce, a fish with lemon sauce. This, I mean, what? So boring. So boring. So me, I'm a creative person. I want to create dishes for people to remember and go home and say, I had a fantastic dinner. And the only things I ask is any food allergies or anything that you cannot eat or you don't like it. So I had a table of 4 people. 3 say we eat everything. And 1 person said, I only eat chicken. So I had to do 6 different courses of 6 different style chicken. And I said, no problem. This is because as an artist, I like to create. And when the guy eat 6-course meal, I say, I never expected that.
Of course, and I've heard that many times with people that I've brought here.
And I have people come, they are vegetarian, and I do 6-course meal vegetarian. Chef, how can you do that? Because I get bored by cooking the same thing. I'm not a line cooker. Line cooker means you cook steak every day. Steak, like assembly. Steak. No, me, I want to cook something different, and I want a challenge. So you challenge me, I'll be happy.
Yeah, okay, but there's 60 people in the restaurant.
Yep, no problem.
You do remember, and I know you've done this in front of me, you've done this, you've looked at everybody, you've asked them if there's any allergies, what do they prefer, are they vegetarian, etc., etc. You remember that.
Oh, of course.
But there's 60 people here, and there's a chorus line of people that bring that food out. And I imagine there's a chorus line of staff and chefs and chefs in there in the back there. How do you relay that? Are they that your staff? Are they must be on the same song sheet as you at all time?
Well, not easy.
Not easy.
Okay, let's say
I don't even understand how it could
let's say
work.
this table. Okay, we are 4 of us. So let's call this table 1, for example. Okay, table 1, we have 4 people. 2 normal, the guy on the left and the lady on the right. 1 vegetarian, cheese also is important, and 1 don't eat seafood. That's it. So now they write down table 1, 2 normal, 1 vegetarian, cheese 1 no seafood. So in the kitchen, we follow that table. When everything goes out, they have to follow that. And me, as the conductor of the orchestra, make sure that he's getting vegetarian, she's getting no seafood, and you getting normal.
Yes, but you also have 5 dishes, 6 dish menus, 10. It's that through a 10 plate experience.
So what I do,
it blew me away.
what I do is I go to the kitchen because this is more my creativity part. So I go in the kitchen and I set up the dishes for my cook to take out.
Okay.
So basically, you have a vegetarian. Within 10 minutes, I can create 4 or 5 dishes. Okay, you put this in the oven, you put this on the grill, and then when they execute, I go back in. You can see me going back forward from the kitchen to the restaurant, because make sure that the guests are happy and the kitchen doing a good job. And 80-90% I go inside and cook myself.
I don't know how you do it, Chef.
It's a passion.
It's a passion, but I don't understand. Everybody also always feels like they had special time with you. And I've seen that in a full restaurant. Yet you're cooking almost, well, you're orchestrating the entire Swiss.
I cook, I do everything because it's part of me. I love it. I love it. And for me, people say, how can you do it? It's easy. For me, it's easy.
Wow.
It's easy. Honest to God, I haven't found one chef who can do what I do.
I can't imagine there are any.
No. So, and I know a lot of chefs, I know a lot of people, and they all stick to the same thing. Me, I don't know, my mind is different. I get bored with the same thing. So I'm a creative. So even my paintings, when I paint, I don't paint the same style. I paint 7, 8, 10 different styles.
Where do you get time to paint?
I always tell the people, a day, 24 hours should be 36 hours. And then only 8 hours sleeping. But the daytime should be 36 hours, not 24.
Well, how much time per day do you sleep?
Oh, not much, 5 hours.
5 hours,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine it'd be much more.
I used to get up like 6-7 o'clock and do paintings. I used to go home at 10, 11 in the evening and do painting until 1 o'clock in the
You're
morning.
just in constant flow state.
Yeah. I mean, I can't stop and do nothing.
Yeah.
I need to create. I need to do something.
Yeah.
And food is one of it. So I always come out with new ideas. You know, sometimes not easy to follow me.
I can't imagine who would.
My cooks get a little bit confused.
Yeah, I bet.
Because say today I create one dish, then the next day they want to do the same. No, the guest was here yesterday. I need to do something different.
You've got that intel, so
but
you're that
they
forward.
don't know.
Yeah, right.
So that's why. So they
no 2 days the same dish.
No.
It's incredible. It just blows my mind.
Sometimes, let's say I have basic ingredient, tuna.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean the tuna I have to put the same sauce every day.
Yeah.
I can put 20, 30 different types of sauce. Sometimes the staff takes, oh chef, here, the sauce. No, I don't want this today.
This was yesterday.
I create something else.
Yeah, well.
You know, because the guests already had this sauce. And the good thing about me, that I remember everything. And this is done with training. I remember I started 30 years ago, maybe, doing this already of no menu. It's basically sit down, shut up and eat. Don't ask any question.
Yeah.
And I used to write down, you used to come, I used to write down on the computer, Mark came on the 29th so of January, he had this, and this. And then you come back, because I used to have guests coming 2-3 times a week.
Of course.
Then, you know, once I start write down everything, then I say, okay, forget about the computer. I use my computer. And I remember everything in my head now.
Unbelievable.
You know.
Unbelievable. But this is, you've said, and I want to say this in winding up the actual interview. 51 years, it means that you've been around for a lot longer than that. 51 years, and here you are at Gabs, and this is this the swan song? Is this the final hurrah? I can't imagine it to be, because I can't. You operate on a 30-year-old energy level.
Yes. Well, let me put it this way. Actually, I want to retire a year ago.
Exactly.
I want to
remember you
retire.
saying.
And I went back to Italy. And then Italy is a beautiful country. Beautiful. But, you know, it gets bored.
Right.
You know, especially when you retire, you know, me, I'm 150%, I retire was 50%.
Yeah.
So I slowed down so much that I say, wait a minute,
This ain't me.
this ain't me.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then I had this opportunity to come over here. I looked, I said, yes, I believe in Bali, I believe in Berawa, and I'll come out of retirement and open this place, you know. And for me, it's kind of, is it going to be my last place? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still have so many ideas in my head.
Wow.
I still have so many
It just, what an amazing gift
things,
that
you know.
is, that for 51 years it's held your imagination, it's held your entire focus, it's given you so many gifts, and it's shown the culinary industry so many masterpieces and so many personalized variations of different foods.
Oh, I in my career, I've been blessed because, first of all, I worked, traveling with VIP and stuff like that, and I work in about 25 countries in the world.
Wow.
You know, and I had the privilege to work with some the most famous chefs in the world. In the golden age, we talk about a few years back, you know, like Paul Bocuse, one of the most famous French chefs, and few others. Anyway, so, and I learned about a different style of cooking. I was fortunate to work in Japan, in China, in Hong Kong, so I learned the culinary experience of Japanese food, Chinese food, French food, Spanish food, Italian food. So my food is not a typical burrata or spaghetti, meat sauce or stuff like that.
This is not an Italian restaurant at all.
It's 50 years of culinary experience. So I create dishes. Of course, it's got that touch of Italian. Of course, I make this is very good, it's Italian. But it's something that...
you don't want to be caught in that.
Exactly. I don't want to be another kid in the block that does a burrata with... balsamic, you know what I'm saying? So I create dishes remaining focused to Italian roots. But I use, sometimes I use a little bit of, different ingredients, Asian ingredients, or French or Spanish.
So always remaining on the fly, anything can happen. Anything can happen depending on how you feel.
Exactly.
That the last meal.
For example, I make a mushroom-based French soup. I put prawns and scallops inside, and then with a touch of Iberico ham.
Oh.
It's a combination of different taste, different things, but at the end of the day, it's a dish that people say, never had that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, so I love to create, I love this job, and I hope to continue and do something different in the future as well.
Wow. Wow. Mate, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Forever you've got a friend in me, because you've opened up not only so many wonderful dishes and experiences for me and my wife, but it just reminds me, the Italian hospitality in you and that passion takes me back to my childhood, even though I'm not necessarily eating Italian food in its raw essence here. I feel like I'm back with those people that were in my neighborhood that wanted me as a child to come over and pick the vegetables out of their garden with them and make the tomato sauce with them.
Something which is funny but true in a way, that a lot of my friends, we became friends through the restaurant, and they came as a guest to eat in my restaurant, and we became friends, and we went to Italy together, we traveled together, and we are very good friends, and I met them through the restaurant because of, I'm always open to give my friendship. I'm always with you and your wife, you welcome to come to Italy and stay in my house, and that's how we are, and that's what I do, and it comes from the bottom of my heart. It doesn't, I'm not one of those fake person who says, oh Mark, you look lovely, your wife looks lovely. I don't do that. I'm honest to you, and Italian way, friendly. I will invite you to my house anytime. Thank you.
I just don't know how to wrap that up any better. Berawa is bustling, Berawa is incredible, and when you find gems, when you find titans in their industry, and you find such a loving opportunity to receive passionate artistry of food, I just don't know how lucky I could have been. I literally live across the road from here. But the people of the Luc Hotel who are staying there, and obviously everybody that comes to Berawa, Gabs is the experience. You've just heard it. Come and witness it. Come and experience it. Give him a challenge.
Oh, no problem.
Come and give him a challenge, and he loves it as well. And also, the cocktails are fantastic here. I just want to wrap it up by saying thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you're able to find your way into Gabs very soon. Give us a call at Geonet Properties if you need any more details on it. But obviously, we're just so enamored with your proximity to us now that we can drop in it all the time. So from the team at Geonet Properties and from all of the businesses around Berawa, we have right here something that you'll always remember, and come down to Gabs and also say hello to him yourself, because he'll welcome you just like a family friend. So that's us signing off. Please follow and press the subscribe button. We hope to bring you a lot more from the areas that we're passionate about, that we're building properties in. And again, here's to Gabs.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.